He's going to have to step up, and I'm just going to do my part. So this is great. It's love camp, love opportunities. But I just love going out there and playing against our offense and competing. And I'm challenging people in everything I do, so I just love making plays.
And Mike, it's really Keel, Jarris Wilkinson, and I guess Chase Blackburn as well, that's going to compete for that starting weak side linebacker position until Michael Boley is back.
Yeah, it's interesting. Weak side linebacker was the only position last year where the Giants had 3 different starters in the regular season, and they signed Michael Boley to take over the spot, but now they've got the same 3 players who started last year competing. Wilkinson and Keel have been alternating playing with the first team in practice as Blackburn's been backing up Antonio Pierce at middle linebacker. But I would not be surprised if at some point Chase Blackburn went over and got some reps at weak side linebacker and possibly even started the first game there without Boley.
And one other big-time position battle in camp that everyone's really focused on is at the wide receiver position. We don't know who's going to start. We don't know who the slot guy is going to be. Everything's up in the air, and there is some data out there from Giant fans as whether or not this group can get it done. But there is no doubt from wide receiver Sonoris Moss.
We know what we put in each and every day. We work hard and we contribute, we run the routes, we work catching the balls and doing all these different things to better ourselves as wide receivers. And we see, the daily process. We go through this daily thing every day. So that's why we have a tremendous confidence in ourselves. People can say whatever they want to say. They're going to comment whether we're doing good or bad. That's life. But it's up for us as a receiver core and as a team to come out here every day and do what we have to do. So when we get the opportunity, we go out there.
And Mike, all of these guys are going to have ample opportunities to show what they have to the coaches during training camp.
Yeah, well, they all have thus far. They've been running in and out of there. Steve Smith and Dominic Hickson have pretty much been the first teamers, but everyone's getting a lot of balls thrown to them. And I think the preseason is going to be very interesting because you're going to match up the receivers with the different quarterbacks. And, it's a real free-for-all out there as far as who's going to get the most playing time once the season starts.
A lot of wild cards. Mario Manningham was one. Another one has to be first-round pick Akeem Nicks. Everyone talks about when they get into the pros how the speed of the game simply changes. It's been no different for Akeem Nicks.
You get the OTAs and you see how fast it is. Then when you get to camp and it's like a lot more, like 10 notches higher. So it's just, no matter how fast everything's going, you just got to stay with it.
And Mike, what have you seen so far from Hakeem Nicks in practice?
Well, actually, I know he's a first-round pick, but it's pretty typical of a rookie. Makes some really good plays. You want to stand up and applaud. And then he has some pretty egregious drops. He had that one in the end zone the other day. No one was near him. But that's really what happens for any rookie, whether you come in as a free agent or your first-round draft pick. As you said, you have to get used to the pro game, and that's what he's doing right now.
Of course, if you go to Giants.com, you'll always see Eisen's mailbag updated about once a week. We're going to do something a little bit different this year. Do a little video version of Eisen's mailbag. I've gone through it. I'm going to surprise Mike with some questions here and see what he can answer that you guys fans want to pose. We're going to start with an easy one. This is from David. He wants to know why Matthias Kiwanuka changed his number from 97 back to 94. Was there a reason for the change?
We can't talk about that, John. No.
State secret, Mike?
Yeah, state secret. 94 was his number at Boston College. He just said he felt more comfortable with 94 on his back, and he just decided to change it. He said the other day, it feels good having 94 on my back again. I didn't even know you could look down and see the number, but he says he's more comfortable wearing 94.
All right, we talked about the wide receivers earlier. One of the guys that left the Giants last year was Amani Toomer. This guy, such a tough question, he didn't want to give his name, so it's from Anonymous. Was there some secret disagreement between Toomer and the Giants organization? He didn't think he was getting the ball a lot the second half of last year. With all the youth, he's surprised that the Giants did not sign him to a one-year deal. Why do you think the Giants decided to let him go instead of bringing him back?
I've answered this question on the mailbag on the website several times, or a variation of this question, and I'm a little reluctant to do it now because Amani Toomer now plays for another team. But to be perfectly blunt, the coaches and those people who make the football decisions, the organization, believed that his skills had started to decline, which is no surprise. He was in his 13th season. I don't know many players who are going to get better in their 14th season. They just felt it was time to cut the cord and go with the younger receivers.
Now, there's one position we really haven't talked about much all week, for that matter. That's at running back. But there is some competition there as well. This one is from Todd. In very limited activity last season, Danny Ware looked very impressive. He was wondering what the coaching staff has planned for him. He thinks he could thrive in a Dave Meggett type of role. Your thoughts?
Well, actually, it says Ahmad Bradshaw in a mega type of role. But as far as Danny Ware is concerned, the coaches are very impressed with him. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the kick returner. He's going to get a long look as the kick returner. I think Ahmad Bradshaw is going to step into the Derek Ward role as the second running back and maybe more of a third down back. And Danny Ware could also play that. But I think Danny Ware is going to really show what he can do on special teams this year.
Couple more. This one from Frederick wants to know how much of a long-term issue you think the injuries on the defensive line are going to be for this team.
Oh, I don't think they are long-term issues. And they're really not. Well, I can't really. Rocky Bernard, I'm a little unsure about. I think everyone's a little unsure about Rocky Bernard. Fred Robbins is still working his way through the knee surgery, but I talked to Jerry Reese about him the other day. He should be back. And then Osi Umenyiora, Justin Tuck, Barry Cofield practicing once a day more as precautionary measures. You do that all the time after surgeries.
And finally, this question comes from Kobe. Wants to know from the undrafted free agents in camp, who have you liked so far?
I think you have to say Vince Anderson's been pretty impressive. The safety from Weber International, is it? The small school in Florida. He's been pretty good. He's again, he's been around the ball. You don't know how much he's going to hit when they really get to live action, but if I had to pick one guy, I think it would be him.
All right, Mike, we've had about 5 days of practice. We're heading into the weekend on this Friday. Give me your general feeling about this team after watching them on the field.
Well, as you said, the defense is always ahead of the offense at this point. I think the offense is really going to make a concerted effort to catch up. I thought Coach Coughlin really challenged the offense yesterday, said they've got to get in gear. And I'd like to see the passing game really come out. I don't think the quarterbacks have been particularly sharp early in camp. I suspect that will improve as the week goes on.
Well, and we look forward to seeing it, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Giants.com. For Michael Eisen, my name is John Schmelk. It's the only place to go for your Big Blue fix, Giants.com.